If you can dream it, you can do it.
Every day, thousands of jobs open up across the state for people just like you. This is where you find them. Discover a new, high-tech, high-paying career right now on Job Hunter.
You know, timber products touch every aspect of our lives. The houses we live in, framed in timber. The floors we walk on, timber. The furniture we sit on, timber. And even diapers, believe it or not, timber. And it all comes from this one tiny seedling. As scientists and engineers further learn and develop new techniques to extract various components from wood, new, more advanced products will appear. Like new uses for wood lignin that holds the fibers together, recyclable food packaging, rubber tire replacement, high-strength fabrics, and even antibacterial medical agents. So once this little guy grows into a mature tree, we harvest him and transform him into a whole range of products. And that's where the jobs come in. And believe me, the timber industry has gotten very 21st century.
Kerri, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great.
Oh my gosh, there's so much going on here. What exactly is going on?
This is one of our final harvest operations here at Weyerhauser. These are all mature logs getting ready to head off to our pulp mills and sawmills and so forth.
I always thought that it was just a guy with a chainsaw. This is such a huge operation.
Yes, it is. It's a very capital-intensive business that we're in, from actually establishing the trees all the way up to final harvest. It's not what you typically see anymore. You know, it's moved away from that. It takes a lot of science and a lot of skill now to manage forest properties. Everything now is computer-based and modeled.
So how old are these logs?
These right here are about 30 years old.
Did they start off like this little guy?
Yes, they did. About 30 years ago, they were planted just like that. And so that's what we target, anywhere from an average of about 27, 28 years. But this one's a little bit older here. But that's what they start off at, just like that.
This looks like the stuff I played with when I was a kid. This stuff is so cool. So what kind of skills do these guys need to be able to operate these machines?
What we're looking to, with the price of the machinery now and the cost of getting business, we're going to be probably looking at 2-year degrees with technical backgrounds. We start looking at prices of skidders, $250,000 plus. Some of the processors on the north end, $450,000, $500,000 per machine. We haven't get our skill base up for our operation. On our site prep stuff, we're running GPSs and things like that. Everything is going now to like joysticks. So we used to be a lot of manual type operation. Now it's all computerized. You can program this stuff, this machinery nowadays do most anything you want. So we're going to need at least 2-year degrees coming out because the price of the machinery is coming out, and also with the skill level and the products that we're looking to get out of the parts.
Okay, so the trees get cut down, and then what happens here?
Once you get cut down, then we'll skid them up, what you see here in the background. We'll bring them up, then we'll process them. Then we have loaders here with CTR. We'll strip all the limbs off of them. We'll top them according to mill specs, and then we'll put them on those piles. Piling it back, that's saw logs going to a sawmill, and these here are the tops. These here will be going off to a paper mill somewhere.
So where's that truck over there headed?
That truck there's headed to one of our third-party customers over at Shuqualak Lumber in Shuqualak, Mississippi.
Well, I think my little buddy and I need to go check out how timber gets turned into lumber.
Yeah, that's the next stage of our process. Have fun.
Thanks, Steve. So let's head to Shuqualak Lumber and see what happens once we harvest our little seedlings' relatives. Shuqualak is one of the biggest lumber operations in the state, supplying lumber for everything from decks to furniture. But as you'll soon see, this isn't your grandfather's timber industry. Right, little buddy? The timber industry has gone completely high-tech. What once used to be a labor-intensive manual operation is now almost completely computer-controlled and automated. Meet Dusty Rigdon, one of the main mill supervisors here at Shuqualak.
You can set your saws. These saws right here, I can program it to shift over to that side of the machine and cut 5/4 decking wood, or I can program it to stay over here and cut 2-inch wood, 2x, which is 1.720. Years ago, it was more back-breaking work, so it's changed a lot just since I've been here. Computer skills, optimization, variable drive. We have our size check set up on every machine where if it reads an incorrect thickness, width, or length, it'll send a text to our cell phone. So we can be on top of it in just a split second. You'll figure out what the problem is. It's some money to be made in the lumber and sawmill industry. We need more young people to get involved.
So you see, it's a whole new generation of jobs that need computer skills to go along with them. There's a career opportunity that's sure to suit anyone with the right skills, attitude, and training. Now let's see what the boss has to say about timber in the 21st century.
Today in the sawmill industry and the lumber industry, you don't touch boards anymore. Everything is automated. It used to be that we could just go hire anybody that was willing to work, that was strong and could manually work. And we worked long hours and low wage. That has changed drastically. The employees that we need today need to be able to have math skills. They need to be able to, add. We deal with everything in thousandths of an inch now, so they need to have some math skills. They need to have some writing skills so that they can fill out some reports that we get daily. The hardest position for our industry as a whole, not just Shuqualak, but our industry as a whole, is that all of our equipment is now automated. It's run off PCs. I'd love to have somebody that knows how to write programs that can go in and decipher what's wrong with that. And those people would be very valuable to our industry. And it's not just Shuqualak, it's everybody that I talk to in this industry.
You know, little guy, this is great, but we're going to need a little schooling to get some of these jobs. So what do you say we head down the road and check out some of the courses available for the timber products industry? Welcome to East Mississippi Community College's Scooba campus in Scooba, Mississippi, where you can not only learn basic manufacturing skills, but start your career in the lumber industry with a 2-year degree in forestry.
Here at East Mississippi Community College, we teach a 2-year program in forestry technology. And that consists of teaching students to manage trees from the time that you prepare the soil to the time you plant the trees, all the way to the time that you harvest the trees. We have an advisory committee that comes in every year, and that consists of roughly 12 to 15 professional foresters. They come in and tell us what we should be teaching in our curriculum. And what we hear from them is, along with the basic studies, the main thing is timber cruising.
Cruising is just giving an educated guess on the worth of the timber, on the standing timber. You have to go out there and while the timber is still standing, put a cruise, which is something we learned at East Mississippi Community College, on how to evaluate the standing timber price. That's what a cruise is. I work for a logging company. My boss man owns 6 logging crews. Well, I'm in charge of going out and finding tracts of land, tracts of timber that individuals own. I purchase the timber from them and pay them up front while their trees are standing and cut the trees. So I like helping people and I like meeting people, and you meet a lot of interesting people doing this. This job has provided my family for 9 years. I love it. It's given me great opportunities. We've purchased land and just for recreation and enjoy, and I just supported my family for the past 9 years, and it's something I enjoy doing. I could have done anything forestry related. I had the credits to be a game warden. I could have been in the timber management side. Anything in the field of timber I could have done with my education here.
This area that we live in is a forestry area. So the fact that we do grow a lot of trees here in this area gives a lot of opportunity for jobs.
Now that you've seen some of the courses you'll need to get a jump start in this amazing, growing field, let's take a look at one of the products that comes from timber. Our next stop is Armstrong in Vicksburg. Armstrong is a global leader in the manufacture of wood flooring, cabinets, ceilings, and wood veneer. They employ over 9,000 people worldwide, and they have a plant right here in Mississippi. So chances are there's a job here for you. Like Reggie Harris here. He's a dryer lead. What exactly does a dryer lead do?
My main focus of my job is to make sure that all the employees are safe, and then the quality of the veneer that we run comes next.
Did you work your way up to this job?
Yes, I did.
How did you work your way up?
I actually came in as a veneer stacker. And from a veneer stacker, I went to a grader, from a grader to a dryer operator to a lead person.
So obviously you love your job as a dryer lead. What do you hope to do in the future?
Well, I would like to move further up into this company. I mean, there's great benefits, you know. So I would like to become a supervisor one day.
What has this job provided for you in your personal life?
Oh, in my personal life, I can sum it up like this. I can go to any store and buy anything I want.
That's really important if you ask me, I think.
Yeah.
It's clear that people like Reggie play a big part in keeping this plant working, but it takes a whole host of others to ensure that his hard work pays off. What exactly do you do here at Armstrong?
I pretty much work in production support. Any machines that have an issue, we have to fix them. It's pretty much anything that's part of the process, we have to keep it running.
What kind of educational background do you have?
I am currently enrolled at Hines Community College. I've been there for 3 semesters pursuing this degree. It's an associate's degree in electrical technology. We are studying some PLCs. There's a class in hydraulics, another one in pneumatics, and basic electrical controls.
What will that help you be able to do here at your current job?
It has helped me to learn the technology behind a lot of the photo eyes and limit switches and PLC equipment that we have here in the plant. Has helped me learn some things to be able to troubleshoot those.
How has Armstrong given you what you were looking for in a job?
Well, I was looking for a job that I could go home every night. They've definitely given me that. I was looking for a job where I could advance and move up the ladder, and I've definitely done that. I've learned quite a few things since I've been at Armstrong, things that'll carry me in a career for the rest of my life.
The Armstrong plant here in Vicksburg is home to a growing staff of people, all working hard to turn wood into veneer products. I don't know about you, little fella, but I could do with some relaxation. Let's head north to Belden on the outskirts of Tupelo and check out what's happening at Lane Furniture. We're on the move here at Lane Furniture, where our little friend and his pals get turned into furniture just like this, to be exported all over the world. Line after line of chairs, recliners, and couches. This plant turns out about 2,500 pieces of furniture every day. And as you can see, it takes a lot of people to make that happen. We're here with Shane Dunham. He's a router operator here at Lane. So Shane, tell us what it is you do here.
I'm a router operator. What I do is we cut out the frame, which is the arms, the backs, various parts you need for the furniture, which you see on couches and sofas. I believe about 10 years ago they brought these routers in. Before that, everything we did was cut on bandsaws. Right here, I'm cutting 22 pieces. 22 pieces will become 22 chairs at one time.
At one time? You can stack that many pieces of plywood on top of each other?
Depending on what style you're running, while before you'd have to do it, you'd have to go from one person to one person, bandsaw to bandsaw to cut it down. While now you can do it all at one time. You load the program in, the program would actually decide what chair you're actually running, which there's a lot of different chairs that we run at this company. You always want to make sure that the wood doesn't move or anything happens. You want to make sure it's the best chair that you can actually run. When I got out of high school, I was pretty lost. Did various jobs. I've seen a couple guys that were running these machines similar to these, and I wanted to learn how to run it, and that's pretty much how I ended up the career I am right now.
Are there other routers in the plant? Are you the only one?
We have 12 routers in here right now.
In this one building right here? Wow, is everybody in here a router?
Not everybody. We have bandsaws and other various jobs, but they're all wood related.
Is there advancement opportunities to move up in the plant?
Oh yeah, many of our supervisors that work here worked out here. My supervisor currently, he worked out here with, just like I do. It's one of those, you're dedicated, you're willing to work hard, you're able to move up.
When it comes to routing wood into so many shapes and sizes, there's got to be someone behind the scenes designing each piece and making sure nothing goes to waste.
I'm the product design engineer. Generally, I'm involved in anything from the packaging, poly, to the 3D CAD system that we use to design our furniture.
So your job is kind of like putting a puzzle together when you have to get the furniture onto the truck.
Yes, exactly. Revolving around packaging is essentially taking the dimensions of the package itself, of the furniture, finding out how many can go on a certain load, finding out the number, and then generating a number that we can use to say, okay, we can put this many on a load, this is what money you will save.
So did you get special training to be able to do this, or?
Well, in some aspect, yes. Back when I was a sophomore in high school, I got involved with a class called Technology Applications. In Technology Applications, I was introduced to the 3D computer-aided design software called SolidWorks. I went to a college where I got my 2-year degree in drafting and design technology.
Then did you get a job here at Lane?
Yes, and I actually got the job while I was in college. It was somewhat of another internship with Lane Furniture, and then I moved on to a full-time position after I graduated. I would say if you are interested in figuring out how things work, how things can fit together, and how to do things efficiently, I would say this is the job for you.
Well, if Shane and Matt are any indication, there are lots of different types of jobs in the timber and furniture industries in Mississippi. Let's talk to one more person here at Lane Furniture. We're here with Kevin Keith. He's a plant manager here at Lane Furniture in Belden. This place is so incredible. I mean, there's so much going on. How many people do you employ here?
This plant, we employ about 700 in this facility.
Is this the only Lane Furniture plant in Mississippi?
No, actually we have 4 plants in this area. We totally employ about 1,700, and about 1,300 of those are actually in the manufacturing environment.
Wow, 1,700 Mississippians that you employ.
Fast-paced, fast-moving environment is great. It's exciting every day. Every day's a new adventure.
What kind of educational background do you look for in your employees?
You know, we certainly look for a high school diploma or equivalent, but any additional college is good. Certainly technology is playing a bigger and bigger role in the furniture industry. So anybody that can come in with some of that background, some of that education can help, take us to the next level. And in some of our other engineering roles or accounting or those type of roles, we do look for a 4-year degree as well.
All of this furniture is so beautiful, and everybody looks so happy who works here. What are some of the perks of working here at Lane?
Oh, well, you do get discounts on our furniture products.
Fantastic. So I work here today, so I get a discount, right?
Hey, absolutely. We do offer very competitive benefits, insurance for both the employee and their family, and very stable work. Lane has been here in Northeast Mississippi for about 40 years. And so a lot of people have started and ended their career with Lane. So we're always looking for, young people to come in with either experience or an educational background to help take us to the next level.
Well, we've seen our little guy and his friends go from timber to lumber, veneer, and now furniture. But wood is a lot more versatile than you might think. Let's take a look at a company on the leading edge of turning timber into, well, something you might not expect. The super absorbent material that goes into diapers? They're for human seedlings. We are here at one of the largest timber processing and manufacturing companies in the world, Weyerhauser. This is Kent Walker of Weyerhauser in Columbus, Mississippi.
How are you going today?
So Kent, what is all this stuff and what does it have to do with timber?
Wow, well, this is a pulp conversion process, so we actually start with this little seedling, and when it is 18 to 22 years of age, we can actually cut that into a log form. We bring it into our plant, we chip it up into small individual cookie-sized pieces, and then we put it through a cooking process much like your mother's pressure cooker, and then we bleach it and we wash it just like you would your clothes, and the fibers come out beautifully white, and then we dry it with this huge dryer here. This dryer has 3/4 of a mile of paper in it at any one time. It operates like an air hockey table, and then it comes out on the other end in a sheet, and from there we send that to customers all over the world like Procter & Gamble and Kimberly-Clark, and they make the absorbent layer of a baby diaper. And we make enough in 1 year to make over 40 billion baby diapers.
Wow. So this is where timber comes in and the process begins here at Weyerhauser. Loads of trucks filled with chips and cut trees are delivered here and unloaded. Once it's inside the plant, the wood goes through the metamorphosis of becoming fluff pulp. The entire process is closely monitored from various control rooms throughout the plant by cameras and computers, and of course, operators.
Well, the ideal person that we would look to hire would be a student who has, of course, completed high school, but has gone on to complete a 2-year technical certificate in either manufacturing technology, industrial maintenance, or electronics. And then we would take that person and actually build them into a manufacturing profession. Today we have about 350 employees that operate our plant, and that number, as I said, has been very stable, and we're hiring. It is a very technically challenging and rewarding career.
It's very challenging out here. You can make a career out here easy and never learn everything there is to know about the process.
I've already made a career out of this job. Like, I love this job.
It has allowed me and my husband to be able to own a home and own land and own vehicles and to make a good living for ourselves.
But yeah, in the next couple of years, I hope to be in the control room, at least training to be a control room operator.
I see myself doing this job for about 20, 30, 40 years. I want to retire from this place.
Weyerhauser is more than just the Columbus plant here. In fact, there are locations not only all over Mississippi, but the country and the world as well. Meet Mike Wolf, Public Affairs Manager here at Weyerhauser.
We have roughly 1,000 to 1,100 jobs located today within the state. So that gives you the ability, if you wanted to stay within certain parts of the state, you can definitely do that. You can move throughout the state. And again, we operate in 11 countries. So for somebody that wants to see the world or go to different parts of the country and maybe eventually come back to Mississippi, to your roots, you certainly have that opportunity as well in a wide variety of the business environment.
Why do you think Weyerhauser is such a coveted place to work?
That's a great question, Kerri. I think that 3 reasons. One is the total benefits and compensation that's available. If you were to work here, say a 25-year career, the average person would make between $1 and $1.5 million. The job security that goes with that, we've never had a layoff here. This is a very stable business. We serve a almost inflation-proof market in the baby diaper business. Reputation-wise, one of the highest reputable companies, and I think that means a lot to people. They want to work for a company that they can be proud of.
How long have you been working for Weyerhauser?
Wow, I just completed 30 years this past June with the company, And I can say that I'm just as excited today coming into work as I was that very first day.
We've covered a lot of ground here, but this is just the beginning. There's a lot more on the horizon when it comes to timber and forest products, things that are only now being developed, like new uses for timber and its byproducts. There you go. It all starts with you, little buddy. In a few years, you'll be a part of homes around the world, papers used around the globe, and a whole lot of other uses scientists and engineers are only just beginning to imagine. And you know what that means. A whole new crop of jobs growing just for you. I'm Kerri Courtney, and I'll see you next time on Job Hunter.
Orbit's commercial. We're gonna make it go ding.
If you can dream it, you can do it.